everyone.
Hello.
I'm Alex.
And I'm Ryan.
And this is our first episode of our brand new podcast, Suck My parentheses fan.
Close parentheses.
Fic. Yeah.
Something for the kids.
I originally, fan fiction's all for children.
Absolutely.
Especially this first episode.
Well, it's written mostly.
It's written by children.
By younger
for sure.
people.
Absolutely.
Young at heart.
The hip ones. I am not hip. I wish I could be.
I was hip.
Well,
but not anymore, because I don't write anymore.
I wanted to name it Stranger Than Fan Fiction, but apparently that's boring and overused.
So I thought about it for 10 seconds, and I fired it right back.
I'm honestly surprised it took you 10.
Well, it took a little bit to type it out.
Oh, okay.
Where I have clumsy fingers. Yeah.
Absolutely. So I guess the plan is for weekly-ish episodes.
Yeah.
For the time being, we're just on YouTube and SoundCloud, but hoping to expand. And kind of like a book club format, if we had it our way.
Lovely.
Yeah.
You don't have to pay for the books. They're all free.
They're all online. They're all free. So it would just be, Twitter. Hey guys, we're reading this fic this week.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hashtag
and then they
fic.
can follow along.
Yeah, blow it up.
Blow it up. Yeah. Okay. So, and eventually in the future, fan submissions. That'd be pretty fun.
That would be fun and easy for us.
Exactly, yeah, because we don't have to find them.
Oh,
but
yeah.
it would be like at the very end. It'd be like, all right, everyone, SpongeBob falls in love with Obi-Wan Kenobi in the forest from My Neighbor Totoro, and you're like, write it.
Right. Yeah, that'd be great if we got some actual original content for the show.
Then we'll sift through it, find the best one.
Right. I would also, if you could include us.
You can include a submission.
That'd
for
be
sure.
fantastic.
Absolutely.
Suck My fanfic would be great.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've always wanted that.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. I'm excited.
So we'll see where we get with this. If it gets ever past 5 listeners, maybe people would do that.
And if at any point something speaks to you, don't feel afraid. Just go ahead and call in. The lines are open. We'll accept your calls. And
Jamie, what's the number? Jamie. Okay. It's a Joe Rogan joke.
Okay.
Jamie is his producer.
Oh, okay.
And he's
Okay.
Relies heavily on Jamie.
We're relying heavily on nobody. Ourselves.
On
Superman. Henry.
He will save the day. So I think before we get to the fanfic, I wanted to go over why fanfic. Because, it's not classic literary fiction, but...
No, you don't read it in your high school class.
No.
Yeah,
no.
It's disregarded completely by society.
I definitely had people in high school classes that read fanfic during class. Absolutely.
Okay. We didn't have the phones and the internet, so we weren't on the... maybe they were. I was too good. I was paying attention the whole time.
I'm sure you were.
Yeah.
I was in too many acting classes to not see people reading fanfic. Just too many acting classes.
Nice.
There were people in my high school that wrote fanfic about other people in the theater troupe.
See, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
They gave them ship names and everything.
We used to call that bullying. But then now it's just, making up stories. Gossip.
See, here the thing is...
Or would you set it in a universe where it's like, okay, there's Alex with a foxtail, so it's all cool. It's
No. It was graphically gay fanfic. About 2 people who weren't gay. And my thing was, if you're getting offended at someone writing a graphically gay fanfic about you, that's a little homophobic.
Yeah, I think it sounds a little bit.
It's just a little homophobic.
Exactly.
And
you were ahead of your time. When was this? This was not the hyper tense days of today. This was back in the day. You were way ahead of your time.
5 or 6 years ago now.
Like 10,000 years ago.
Exactly.
In modern day times.
In Twitter time.
Yeah.
Why fanfic? Interesting fact. First off, please define a Mary Sue for me.
Oh, actually, I know this one.
Do you?
So I know this stems from Star Trek fan fiction, and it's the idea that the writer will put usually themselves in the story, and they'll just come on the spot and immediately be the best at everything with no struggle, no real character arc. They're kind of just dropped in the middle of this. And I know that because all of my fan fictions featured myself
And
as
you
a
were Mary
sort of
Sue.
Mary Sue. Absolutely.
There you go.
It's usually a stand-in so that the writer can just have them interact with their favorite characters and be as clever and witty as how they are.
And they typically had a hero's death.
A hero's death.
In the Star Trek ones. Yeah.
Okay.
And now we're talking 70s.
Right.
Like fanfic on a typewriter, you'd mail it to your friend. Like
You'd have to type it a bunch of times. Unless, well, you might only have one friend.
Gutenberg had been around for a little bit, so you could...
Fresh off the press was the Bible and then fan fiction.
The Star
about,
Trek, the
exactly.
Star Trek thing, yeah. So, wow. Definitely did not coordinate on the Mary Sue one. That was going to be like a little nugget, and like you got me on that. So.
I knew that really well.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
And so talking about that, my first question is, what is canon?
What is canon?
What is canon? Yeah, so like something that's like canon to a story.
Okay.
So what declares what's canon? So like look at the Harry Potter universe. Right? She hasn't written all those books. She's had other people write the books for her.
I think, well, if you're going to follow J.K. Rowling as an example, it seems like whatever the user defines is canon.
Yeah.
I think it comes back to the original creator, and it gets a little tricky, especially when you get to like a J.R.R. Tolkien.
Yeah.
Not around anymore.
His son wrote a library.
Yeah, Children of Turin.
Yeah.
Great book.
Exactly.
Is it canon?
Is it canon? Who
Who
knows?
gets the mantle after that?
And then when you start getting into like corporate interests, okay, so and so owns Harry Potter.
Duh, yeah. Warner Brothers.
J.K. Rowling gets no say in what's canon anymore. So what's canon? I'm not saying she does. I'm saying for example.
Okay.
For example. My best example was actually going to be my favorite fandom, interest, hobby, comics. So think about this. Superman was 80 years ago, 81 this year. They're not around anymore, the original creators.
R.I.P. Good guess.
So, the guy who's currently writing Superman, Brian Michael Bendis, is he writing something that's canon? Is he just writing fanfic?
Well, I think that when it comes to comics especially, you have all these different kind of universes. And when a new creator takes over, maybe they borrow some things or they rely on the history of the character, but it's a new character. It's got a new voice, right?
Yeah. Well,
unless they're doing a bad job, they're not taking
character. They're using the same character.
Same character with their own spin, no? I mean, wouldn't that just be boring if they kept going?
There's a joke. One guy I follow on YouTube, Tom King's Batman. He calls him Michael Batman.
Yeah, I know that guy.
Michael Batman. Because he's like, it's not Bruce Wayne. It's just some dude named Michael who put on the Batman suit.
There have been a lot of Bruce Waynes.
There have been a lot of Bruce Waynes.
There's a lot of Batman.
Yeah. So
into the Batverse.
Exactly. Well, into the Batverse. That's a good one. So my question is, how is a comic book written today different than a fanfic written yesterday?
They get money.
They get money. They get money, and
they get lots of money.
They actually don't get a lot.
They get money.
Yeah,
some money. They get some money.
Some money. And they're officially sanctioned by the corporate owner of the property.
Right. I think you can kind of sell, to a certain degree, you can sell your idea, and then at that point, it doesn't become yours. I mean, maybe it loses the heart, that creative spark.
Yeah.
But you are kind of ceding that ownership.
Yeah.
You're allowing other people to write your stories.
But talk to a Star Wars fan. Every single one of them has a different definition of which movies are canon.
That's true. I think that's. I mean, this is an exciting time to be talking about this. It's interesting because a corporation, Disney, is setting what's canon. It's not anybody who originally came out. Like George Lucas, he tapped out.
Hands off.
He's out of there.
Hands off. Yeah.
So at this point, what is more valid? Is the only thing that's valid is what you pay $20 to go see at the movie theater, or could it be what your next door neighbor typed out on their Acer?
Yeah. What gives J.J. Abrams more right? Besides being hired, obviously.
Right. Smart, clever, witty people. Everybody's to some degree. Yeah. A little clever, a little smart, a little witty. Mm-hmm. Anybody could write it, and it could be just as good.
Yeah. And so that's is the story the creator's story or the fan's story?
I think after a certain period of time, it kind of just... It can be whatever you want.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be.
So it's an individual. So, to some people, these fan fictions are canon.
Right.
Yeah. To a good one. Yeah. I'm going to be honest with you. The one I have for you today, if anyone considers it canon, good for them.
I may.
I
may after this.
I hope you do.
I haven't heard it. I'm very excited to hear it. I may consider it. It might be my canon. It might be my Nick Cannon.
Okay, Nick Cannon. He hosts the Masked Singer.
He gets to choose all canon. His name is Nick Cannon.
Yeah, that's true. Doesn't matter how many N's are in that canon. He's canon.
Who's spelling here? This is an audible, platform.
It's a fan fiction ASMR.
Yes.
Yeah, and then the ships. They shipped them.
I hate ASMR. Never got into it.
Okay.
Never got into it. But if you like it, if that's your canon for popular things, then that's cool.
I have an ASMR cannon for sure.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. It's a little cannon I fire into a microphone for ASMR.
It's just like pop and then fizzles.
Yeah.
And then you pass out.
The ASMR is you can't hear anymore afterwards.
Okay. It's that ringing, that high pitch ringing. It's
yes.
Yeah.
Tinnitus.
Tinnitus?
I think it's tinnitus.
Star is Born, I think they called it tinnitus.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's weird that I know
That's
that.
Weird.
It's also
no, it's just
weird
a weird
that
way
I know.
I've never heard it.
That's how I learn.
Okay,
I don't learn from books or anything like that.
No one should read from books. They should read from fan fictions.
I agree.
Yeah. So next up, I wanted to present to you a list helped very much by BuzzFeed.
Thank you, BuzzFeed.
Thanks, BuzzFeed.
Thank you for sponsoring this video.
Yeah.
They didn't sponsor this video. I don't know if you can get in trouble for that.
Thank you for TikTok for sponsoring this video. Hit or miss. And so yeah, I'm going to read a list of tropes you can find in a sexual fanfic. A sexual
Specifically sexual
Sexual.
fanfic. And there's a bunch of different kinds.
Sexual.
There's a bunch of different kinds of fanfic.
Absolutely. Not all of them have to be sexual. However,
The
this
good
first
ones are.
one is.
Yes.
And therefore, I wanted to present the list.
Okay.
And then in future episodes, we can come back
Right.
to the list, add to the list, change the list, anything you want to do.
Sounds
It's
good.
our fiction of a list, our fan fiction. That's already gotten annoying, but it's okay. So number one.
Okay.
No
Number one
lube-
of
20.
20.
20.
Just for this little segment.
Just sexual fan fictions.
20.
There are 20 things you could typically expect.
Okay.
Bonus points, special shout out next week to whoever purposefully writes a fanfic hitting all of them.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be great. Yeah. And it has to be in as little words as possible.
That's important too.
Yeah.
That's very important.
And with SpongeBob and Qui-Gon Jinn.
Qui-Gon. Okay, yeah. I mean, he's
Did
one
I
of
say
my...
Obi-Wan before?
You said Obi-Wan before. It hits a little close to home. Qui-Gon is one of my childhood heroes.
Throw them both in. It could be between the three of them.
Okay. That'll be mildly disappointing to read, but okay. If it's written well, I might enjoy it.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll sift through them and I'll pick the best.
Thank you.
The best
Protect
one
my sensitive
submission,
eyes.
the only submission. First one, no lube needed. None. Everyone's ready.
See, that's just not realistic.
Yeah.
That's unfair. That's setting up this idea that it's just like,
Especially who's reading these? Children.
Exactly.
Typically, right? So you're just selling this idea to kids.
Okay.
But it's other kids, so they don't know.
A little disappointed. I feel like fan fiction should hold themselves to a higher standard.
I agree. Number two, no condoms. No one ever thinks to be safe. And this isn't included, but there is a trope, pattern, whatever you'd like to call it, where someone ends up pregnant at the end. Mpreg.
Okay.
Mpreg.
Yeah. I'm familiar with that. I love all the tags that go before every fan fiction.
Yes.
So you know what you're getting into.
Absolutely. You have to know before you get into it.
Yeah, exactly.
So no condoms. 3, tongues, and this is in quotes, battle for dominance.
Oh yeah, I definitely understand this one.
So those words, battle for dominance, occur.
Well, if you're
typically written out.
If you're only gonna write like a quick little one shot, and it's gonna be 3 paragraphs dedicated to just foreplay and making out, they got
to battle for dominance.
Well, every great story has a conflict.
If it's the tongues, it's the tongues.
And you have to have it somewhere.
Number 4, no normal sex, no vanilla. You know what I mean? You're not throwing on, Ed Sheeran lighting a candle and just going to town.
Tuesday night. That's Tuesday night. Yeah.
Tuesday night. No, it's extreme. It's always extreme.
Well, I would contest that that's always the case in all movies, or movies or art. We're looking at a pivotal, changing moment in that person's life, unless you're specifically writing it to be like mundane and pointing out, wow, this is what real life is like, and then you know.
Yeah. I guess it doesn't make any sense to have Batman and Bart Simpson just go vanilla.
Right.
You know, they're going to be doing flips and shit.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of times where Rambo's just sitting on the couch.
Yeah.
It's not that he's always getting called over
or having PTSD attacks.
Exactly.
Or flashbacks.
Well, he could possibly be having those a lot at the time.
I think he does have a lot. That's true. Like a lot of those. But number 5, never any bad sex. Even if it's disgusting, gross, painful, it's
They're both
always
into it.
good.
I like that one. They're both consenting. They're having a good time. They're on the same page.
Yeah. 6, losing your virginity.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. I guess there's something about that loss of innocence, special first time that really hammers into a fic.
Just so I can be clear, every time I say it's because I'm thinking of all the sexual fan fictions I've read, and I'm just going through the Rolodex and that's
in a lot of them.
That's in a lot of them. Absolutely. And sometimes, if you're writing one of those, not saying I haven't.
No, that's fine.
If you're writing one of those, you'll just remember that was a great line. I'm going to recycle that.
Yeah.
And then you'll throw it a shout out in the credits.
Well,
thank you for my inspirations.
Yeah. And that just goes to the whole, there's no original stories. You're just retelling the same 5 stories, just in a different way. The Bible or the New Testament, it's just the Epic of Gilgamesh. To some people. To some people. Forgive me, Father, for if I have sinned. 7, impossible sex positions.
This just sounds like pornography.
Yeah, I know, for the most part.
This is just pornography.
Well, 8, sorry, gushing vaginas. They have to be gushing.
Yeah. I know it.
Yeah, 9, overplayed gay, parentheses, sex stereotypes. So if someone's a bottom, they're effeminate.
Okay.
That
seems regressive.
It is a little regressive.
For such a...
Yeah, but it's common.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
It's a problem.
Okay, well, yeah. Little implicit bias there. If you're parent to males, you're probably going to pick the, weaker, more effeminate one to be the bottom.
Sure. Yeah.
I would pick Qui-Gon to be the top.
Oof. Remus Lupin, Sirius Black. Remus always a bottom.
There you go.
I bet you didn't know that's a big pairing.
That is huge pairing. And Remus is always the bottom.
I wouldn't say always. Yeah. I don't really read them. I just scanning the tags and sifting and I'm sifting.
There you go. So you got that one.
Yeah. I got most of these, which I'm just shocked at.
Horrified. Yeah. No prep for sex. Everyone's just ready to go.
Wasn't that the first one?
No. One was no lube.
Okay.
No prep.
No prep. Doesn't that encompass, your lubrications, your stretching, your condom application?
I think that's just kind of like a broad.
Okay.
Broadened.
No showers. No one's taking any showers.
No. If you're going down to eat the booty, no one's taking a shower.
Right. You're ready to go.
You're eating a ripe booty.
Right.
Yeah. You're not eating a fresh booty.
Don't give away the rest of these tropes now.
No, I'm not.
Let's not give it.
That actually was one that I took out because it just seemed too much. But
yeah. Okay. Well.
First time anal isn't painful.
Yeah, that goes back to so it's perfect. Exactly. Everything's awesome. They're both into it.
Multiple ways of referring to a penis. That's my absolute favorite one.
Wait, word choice. You can't just bang it out. It's like if every sentence started with "duh," I would stop reading.
You'd stop reading. Yeah. So you have to have different words.
Spice it up.
A penis.
But it's almost at that 3rd grade level where you're trying too hard to make it interesting.
And you're just taking something vaguely phallic and you're just inserting it into the individual.
Baguette.
Exactly.
That's a common.
That was a French person. He shoved his baguette. It's just, 13, vagina referred to as tasting sweet or fruity.
Yeah. Okay. That again is just kind of like it's. I think that's like a poetic truth. Yeah. May not necessarily be true, but that gives an accurate representation of the emotion you're feeling at that time. So that's again a little poetic.
Yeah. 14's my favorite. I know I said 12 was my favorite, but they both are. They're kind of tied.
Right.
Referring to fingers as digits.
Wow, okay, I've never heard that.
Never heard that one?
No, I've never heard that one.
Oh my god! Every time I read a fanfic where someone's just kind of finger blasting someone else,
Yep.
they inserted their digits. Digits. That's just
Ugh,
hard.
That's so cold. It's like
Yeah.
a computer.
The hard vowel sound. Digit. I'm putting my digit in you. It's just, it's too much. 15, the penis leaks pre-cum. That's a common one. Yeah.
Really?
Because it's like, I guess what they're trying to imply is that the man just can't stand it.
The yearning, just hyping up that anticipation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
16, no refractory period for the men. Yeah, that's a big one.
Well, you only got what, like 2,500 words max?
Yeah,
I'm gonna read. You gotta.
Well, I mean, it only takes 5 words. He
15
drank
minutes.
some Gatorade.
And then
One
word. Sometimes fanfiction gets sloppy.
Yeah. 17, man feels the walls of the vagina clench.
Okay.
As he is, quote, sent over the edge. And then they finish simultaneously.
Wow, that is. It's like I'm being exposed. I feel like someone's reading my mind. Like I've read this so many times, I never put it together.
Yeah.
And this might actually be, maybe Kendrick Lamar wrote a little
bit.
fan fiction. These walls.
Yeah.
He's all about these walls closing him. That's. Maybe
18, a lot of moaning.
Of course.
There's a lot of moaning.
Of course.
19, no cleanup necessary.
Well, it kind of just ends. I mean, it's not.
Yeah.
Nobody really wants the pillow talk.
Well, that's sometimes they do. And if they do, it's just I guess just leaking there. I don't know. You're just sitting there in your own.
You just
filth.
don't address it anymore. That's too much like
and it takes
work to
takes
clean
away
it
the
up.
romance. Yeah. No one wants to hear about how Obi-Wan's mopping up Qui-Gon with SpongeBob. You know.
I think you could mine a lot out of that, actually. Yeah. Bad example.
SpongeBob takes some weird pleasure out of it.
Yeah. Bad example, but I get what you're saying.
Canon straight characters engaging in gay sex.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the 20. That was 20.
That was 20. I mean, that's BuzzFeed, right? They get a little worn out, tired.
That
of
one was
so
actually
they kinda
mine.
rehash.
That one was mine.
You added that.
I added that one.
Okay. I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess people will see what they want to see. They take it any way they want.
Well, what do you mean? People see what they want to see.
I think sometimes a creator will be aware of their audience and the fandoms.
Oh, and you think they'll tease it a bit?
They'll tease it a little bit. They'll tease it a little bit.
I could see that.
I mean, it's possible.
Yeah.
I have no examples to give you
It's
at all.
irresponsible to say it doesn't happen.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't just say that.
No, you can't.
As a blanket statement.
Yeah. Okay, so we've done the tropes, we've done why fanfic. Now we can get to the meat and potatoes of why we're here and review some fic.
Let's do it.
Let's whip out that fic.
I'm
Whip out
excited.
that fat fic.
Boom.
Boom. So first I'd like to summarize the fandom.
Okay.
If you don't mind while I take a drink of water. Summarize Pokemon. It's a Pokemon fic.
Ah, yes, Pokemon. Okay, so I was aware that this was going to be a Pokemon fanfic.
I did tell you that much.
And I just want you to know, so we're on the same page.
Yeah.
I love Pokemon. I am obsessed with it.
Okay. You're a Poke freak.
I'm a Poke freak.
Okay.
I never, gotten into the fan fiction a little bit. Love the games. Grew up. I probably like it mostly because I just watched the show a lot as a kid.
Now, this is a side question.
What's
Do you
that?
consider that anime?
Do I consider what? The show?
The
anime?
show, yeah.
Oh, I don't. I mean, I have a very surface
anime?
level
Is that just
relationship
cartoon?
with anime. I mean, it is a kid's cartoon. It relies on a lot of anime, kind of like a Teen Titans relies on a lot of anime style and like jokes.
Yeah.
I don't care. It's my childhood. I shouldn't have to. I shouldn't have to define it.
Why are we putting things in boxes?
We're not putting things in boxes.
Why are you making lists of things, Alex?
We just put 20 things for a box.
Okay, so keep going. Pokemon.
So yeah, I am aware that there was a troubling amount of pictures on DeviantArt. You familiar with DeviantArt? It's like the visual medium of fan fiction. It's fantastic. Of a certain Gen 3 Pokemon. It's the third evolution of Ralts, Gardevoir. It looks
Keep going.
bit like a human. I wouldn't be surprised if it pops up in this one. which just goes to show how, I mean, I don't know where I parked my car, but I know all of this stuff, just rattles around in my brain and occupies space. I wouldn't be surprised if Gardevoir shows up. But I would say I'm not ready. I'm not ready for it. I haven't delved into that part of it. It's very a wholesome thing to me. I'll get every time the game comes out.
Yeah.
I get the system. The Switch came out. I said I bought it for Smash Bros. I don't even like Smash Bros. I bought it so I could play Pokemon.
It's disheartening.
I mean, it's okay. I'll get into
Smash
it.
Bros is more than okay, but okay.
But I got it so I could play. Let's Go Pikachu.
Let's go Pikachu. Let's go Eevee.
No. Oh God, no. And so I came to reckoning that I've essentially bought 3 systems to play the same 3-game Pokemon Yellow.
Yeah.
That's how much I like it.
Yeah. Well, I love Pokemon. I used to download the emulators on my phone.
Absolutely.
Play those religiously. Yeah. So it's a good series.
Yep.
It's originally a Japanese series.
Yes.
Pokemon is short for Pocket Monsters.
Okay.
A little originally intended for children. But
Did you collect Pokemon cards?
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Do you still have some? Not with you here,
I have every single one of my Yu-Gi-Oh cards, but no more Pokemon.
Interesting.
Yeah. I was a Yu-Gi-Oh kid.
Playing Yu-Gi-Oh.
And the TV show.
And the TV show. But did you ever play Pokemon, the trading card game?
I have no idea how to play that game. I never played
Nor do I. I just like to
That's
collect.
Yeah. So I guess for those of you who still don't know what Pokemon are, but I'm sure everyone does, they are little animals, creatures that
friends,
have elemental powers.
Yes,
ghost type, water type, fire type,
electric,
ground, stuff like that.
Grass, fairy, steel, poison, dark, flying.
I bet there's more.
There's a lot
more.
You got
ice.
mega evolutions.
You got
ice. Yeah.
You catch them in balls. You store them in the balls.
Absolutely, unless you're really, you let them out of the ball and they follow you around. But that's rare. That's rare on the large.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you love Pokemon this much because we're gonna dive into some stuff. I'm also going to just let everybody know, him bringing up Gardevoir was not planned whatsoever. Because I'm gonna get into this fic. Just let it go. Just let me do my thing. Okay. Yeah. So I have a summary, and within this summary are some quotes. So I'll let you know when we get to a quote. I'll try to read the quotes as dramatic as possible, just for fun. Okay. So here's the fic, everybody. It's called Rectified Anonymity. No, it's not anything to do with a rectum.
Oh man, that's like the harshest first 3 letters you could start a fanfic with.
Rectified anonymity. So
I've never known how to say that word.
Yeah. I won't say the author's name.
Don't have to.
Yeah.
You said the title. People can find it.
They can find it. I found it. They can find it. And it wasn't a submission, obviously. So this is a quote. It's a little long. It's not the longest quote, but it's... okay. Rain spattered across the sand, causing a deafening roar, like that of 100 semis crashing into each other in apocalyptic glory. The crack of thunder split the insanity, and wind swept it up into a cacophony of natural horror. All the while, David sat glumly, shielding himself from the gale beneath a rather large tree. He was soaked to the bone and miserable, lost in Kanto with no map, no Pokédex, no food, and no company other than his beloved Pokemon. He was sure he'd die of hypothermia or worse. So that's the opening paragraph. A lot to chew on. It's a dangerous place to be in Kanto.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right?
I'm trying to think where they would be. Where's their beach in Kanto? I'm probably whiffing on it completely. I mean, just south of Pallet Town if you're on your way.
Kanto's Gen 3.
Kanto is Gen 1.
Gen 1?
Yes. Hoenn is Gen 3.
Hoenn is Gen 3.
Johto is Gen 2.
I played
That's why I'm here.
the crap out of Gen 3. the Ruby. I loved
Well,
Ruby.
if Gardevoir is going to come into this, we better have a scene change because you
No,
can't
it's going to be
find
in
Gardevoir in
Kanto.
Kanto.
It takes place in Kanto.
Okay, well, I have a huge problem with it already, but that's
fine.
okay. I really like that first. I don't think as much, attention is going to be paid to the words
No.
and the visuals for the rest of the story, but I really enjoyed that beginning. It seemed a little overstuffed, but I could picture it.
I'm sorry, but there is as much attention to detail.
And it's overstuffed.
Overstuffed.
Oh, God.
Literally in some points.
Okay.
So, this is not a quote. He's sitting there in the rain, and he chooses... David, yes.
Protagonist.
He chooses his Gardevoir to come out of the Pokeball, and at first it's innocent. And he... Like, you just think he wants company. Mm-hmm. And we find out pretty quickly he's a little horny.
Why?
He's horny. And he makes a move on Gardevoir. Now, here's another quote. You ready?
I don't have a choice.
No, what are you doing, he thought. She's an animal. No amount of masturbating could satiate the lust he felt out in the wilderness. So, he knows it's wrong.
Yeah.
Right now,
that's common. That'll be a common.
And that was my issue. He knew it was wrong.
Well, I think what the author's trying to do is to try to catch those people who are kind of on the fence, people like me who are like, this sounds a little sketch, but I can sympathize with David because I also know it's wrong. I would never probably do what's going to happen next.
But you've never been stuck in Kanto with nobody.
I've never been so lucky.
That's a good point. Good point. So next, he pins her to the ground.
Okay, I just want to say.
What?
So for, again, people who don't know Pokemon can't speak. They can only say their name. They can't... Oh, okay. Well, I also want to bring up now that Gardevoir is a psychic type. And in the past, there has been, some loose interpretations where psychic types a little smarter for whatever reason.
Well,
can
I will tell you...
a little more cerebral.
It's a Me Too moment because there's a power dynamic here. She understands that he's her master. She gets it.
She gets it.
She knows.
Okay, she gets it.
She knows. And even though she might not like some of the things that are going to happen to her, or any of them.
But that's one of the tropes, right? They're always consenting. They're always, it's always great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So he pins her to the ground. She obviously doesn't like it, but they continue. So here's another quote. The best thing about a Pokemon is that they'll never be able to tell anyone about it. End quote.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the best part about a Pokemon?
That's the best part.
That's the best part?
So when you say they couldn't speak, that's the best part. It's the best part about the Pokemon. They can't speak.
I mean, when I would close my eyes at night and think about all the things I did that day as a kid, I wouldn't think about, wow, I'm so happy that Pokemon can't speak. I was like, wow, they can fly. They can, shoot lasers. And
Yeah. But how old were you?
21.
Oh, okay. Did you want to, or, when you were 21, did you want to bone a Pokemon?
No.
Well, there you go. Next quote.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. Just not for me.
No, there's anything wrong with that. Next quote. A probing finger slipped in between, finding a hole. It's not a digit yet. He knew little of the Gardevoir anatomy, but knew that any hole would work. He plunged his rock-hard cock deep inside of her anus. It was white hot. A wave of pleasure washed over him before the first stroke. Gardevoir screamed in pain, her precious anus being pulled to 4 times its natural size. With each thrust, she screamed louder, but David couldn't hear it. The crevasse formed tightly over his shaft, grifting harder than his fist ever could. Before long, he finally came, filling her sphincter with his seed, white mixed with black blood as he pulled out. Blood and feces dribbled out. The sight of Gardevoir laying there, whimpering, smeared with blood, mud, cum, and her own feces, unlocked something deep within David's soul.
Mega evolution. unlocked something deep within
Yeah.
his soul, mega evolution. I just want to
That's-
say, if you didn't know what you were getting into, now you know.
Now you know.
If you don't know,
Now you know. And we don't always want to be this gross.
No. But this is important.
This
because
is
this
important.
is
This is a good first episode. If we can't get through this, we can't get through anything.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, not phased at all. Takes a lot to shock me.
This isn't the worst part, bud.
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Takes a lot.
Next quote.
Okay.
Next quote. His mouth lowered in primal instinct, extending his pink tongue. He lapped up her blood and shit, using prune fingers to smother himself. It was beautiful. The bitter taste of her poop and the coppery taste of her blood was like magic to him.
Who do you think this was written for?
Was he writing it to shock somebody?
That's
Was he
often-
writing it so two idiots could talk about it on a podcast one day?
I hope so.
I hope so.
I hope things
I'm
are-
his direct audience.
I hope things are laid out that nicely.
Yeah. So yeah. Did not hit that trope. He did clean up afterwards.
Considerate. Very
Yeah,
considerate.
very
In the most
considerate.
gross way you could
Yeah,
possibly clean
and
up.
he enjoyed it. He enjoyed it.
Okay. That's cool.
Next quote.
I could say that he's the only one enjoying it at this point.
Well, carnivore might be. I don't know. Next quote.
Definitely not.
He flipped her bleeding, limp body over. His mouth met hers, lashing about inside of her toothed maw. He kissed hard and deep as he carefully fit his shitty dick into her pokey vagina.
Oh man, this has got to be a goof. That's funny. I mean, no one is just like, this is the word. This is exactly what I'm going for.
The thing that bothers me is like, couldn't you have called it a pokey-gina? You'd have called it a pokey vagina.
That's true. That's true.
I don't know. That's the thing that bothers me.
Yeah, you mostly truncate the beginning of a
Yeah.
word and then put pokey on instead. Yeah.
Pokey vagina.
That's just clunky.
The head slid in easily and she whimpered. That was the end of the quote. Anything you want to unpack there, or do you just want to keep going?
I think I don't want to. I think it's unfair to react to things in part. You know, I want to have the whole
thing.
thing.
I got you.
I think that's fair.
Okay. To make it a little bit easier to read, I'm going to take the headphones off for a second. There's
Okay.
a little bit of delay.
Sure.
But, okay. Okay. In pain. Oh, this is not a quote. This is just. In pain, she instinctively claws at his back to get away.
You wrote this.
Yeah.
Very good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. He doesn't like that she scratched him. Boom, punched her in the face.
Punches her in
He
the.
punched her in the face. So she, in a normal animalistic reaction, accidentally claws him. Mm-hmm. He doesn't like being clawed. Boom, punched in the face.
I mean, I guess at this point it's all about what David wants.
It's all about what David wants for
Everything-
the rest of the story.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Eventually, he, this is a quote, disengaged from her mangled secret.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's.
It's oddly poetic.
Yeah.
Oddly poetic, and that's what kind of hurt me about it.
Yeah.
Disengaged from her mangled secret.
I like that one. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna use that one.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Next, he decides that he wants to. Well, okay.
What else is there to do?
What else is there to do?
I mean, for like me, I have no idea.
No, it's very clear. He did her butt,
Put
in her pokey vagina.
Yeah.
So what's left?
Toothed maw.
Tooth maw. Tooth maw.
Toothed maw.
So next, he decides that he wants to put it in her mouth. Mm-hmm. At first, she resists, but ultimately, she submits because she understands that he's the master.
I just want to ask a quick question.
Yeah.
2 quick questions.
Yeah.
First one is so David is a Pokemon trainer.
I believe so.
He is a Pokemon.
Yeah.
Is he do we have any sense if he's accomplished or not? That's not the focus of the
I don't
story.
think he is.
Okay. So if he's not accomplished, he has gotten what, max 2 badges? There's 8.
Maybe.
2-3 badges?
Well, 8 per region.
Right.
He's got a Gardevoir.
That's true. But if he's not accomplished, he never completed all of them.
That's true.
So let's say, for argument's sake, 2 badges. He's a quarter of a way. That's still pretty
That's
accomplished.
That's more than I could do.
Could be less.
Yeah.
Every time in the Pokemon games, you get a badge. There's a certain they're gauged by levels. Pokemon have levels 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And in order to prevent you from hacking the game or progressing too far, if your Pokemon gets beyond a certain level before you pass a certain point of the game, for pacing's sake, the Pokemon does not obey you.
Yeah.
Because it is too powerful for you, and you are not worth its time.
I see where you're going here.
To evolve, Gardevoir's going to be what? 35?
Now, is there a stone you can use with Gardevoir?
No.
No stones.
No, it's a time thing. No stones.
Okay. Well, that's different. And she's very submissive. So
she's
he
very
would have had to
submissive.
raise her from a pup.
Exactly.
Whatever,
from a Ralts. A Ralts,
from a
yeah.
Ralts.
Okay. So what I'm saying is that, I mean, maybe he's more accomplished than we think. Because this is, again, if we're talking about in-universe...
It seems like he gets bored with the Poke universe, and he just needs to do other things, particularly the Pokemon.
Okay. So maybe he's so accomplished.
That could be it. He's bored with it.
He's done everything.
Yeah.
But he still finds himself on a beach all by himself with no friends, probably because he's a deviant.
Yeah. Or maybe he's a deviant because he has no friends.
Okay, and again, I don't want to judge it based on... I just had a quick question, so
That's fine. Next quote. She gagged, puking a little. The bile stung him, so he drove another fist into her eye. Through the pain, she sucked, and finally, he came. Got a little rhyme there. As he did, his mind cracked a little more. He gripped her head, forcing his cock into the back of her throat.
His mind cracked.
She vomited it again, squirting half-digested plant matter all over both of them, and he lashed her.
That's a slight allusion. I just want to say that's an allusion to Pokeblocks, which are the food of the Pokemon universe. It's crushed up berries.
Yeah.
That's
so.
this author knows their stuff.
Thought out. That's the end of the quote. So this exchange doesn't seem to be as sexual for David as it does to be more of about power, in my opinion. It seems like he's more into the power dynamic. That's just my own observation, own opinion.
Okay.
If he's trying to get his rocks off, could have stopped at the anus.
Right.
Didn't have to lap it up. Didn't have to spit in her face or punch her.
Interesting.
Because he lashed her at the end. So it seems kind of like a power thing to me.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You're not reading into this a little too much?
Oh, just wait. Just
okay.
you wait.
Okay, fine. Yeah.
Weeks later, it says weeks.
Okay.
He arrives to Cerulean City.
Yep.
And decides that since Gardevoir is not fully healed, he should take her to a Poke Center. So they go.
I hope there's a social worker at this Pokemon Center.
That's my question. It seems to be like
Nurse Joy is not trained to. She's just a medical.
Well, you have to think a couple weeks later, so you're only getting the tail end of the abuse, And also, imagine how beat up Gardevoir could get, from other Pokemon.
Well, they don't have a lot of HP. They're mostly offensive.
Well, there you go. So she could easily get hit by something.
Sure.
She gets splashed on.
She would head back.
With her mind. Not unless she's submissive.
She owes him a light
screen. She owes him a lot.
Yeah. If anybody likes Pokemon, there's gonna be. I'm just gonna make references just for you. Just for you.
Okay. Next quote. He felt glad. She was mentally broken. His attack had transformed her into the perfect sex slave. When he moved his cock near her, she would tilt her head, trying to find it, just as a baby searches for a nipple and automatically begins sucking.
This is Freudian.
She was infected, though. Mold grew upon her anus and wounded eye. Her vagina was yellow with infection, discharging constantly. She wouldn't make it another day. I put, in all caps, this is where things get weird and gross.
This is where things
get weird and gross. So all that other stuff was pretty okay, pretty tamed. Family show up until that point.
Family show.
Kids, get out of the room. Think mom and dad's got some stuff to listen to.
Kids below 9, get out of the room.
8. Let the 9-year-olds learn.
It's time the 9-year-olds. It's time.
Honestly, if they've been on the internet, they've seen way worse. Like the internet once, they've seen way worse. Disney Channel's got way worse. You know what I'm saying?
That's probably not true. I haven't watched Disney Channel in a while.
I haven't watched Disney Channel.
Full disclosure.
I have no idea.
Okay, 9-year-olds, this one's for you.
Nurse Joy puts the Gardevoir in a rejuvenation chamber, and immediately David is thinking about how he wants to have sex with Nurse Joy. But if you think about it, he was out in the wilderness. He'd been out weeks after his encounter with Gardevoir. Obviously, he's been doing stuff to her because she's trying to suckle his penis.
Absolutely.
So his first female human contact, he's ready.
Yeah.
He just wants to go. And we know he's got an issue with power, so...
He does.
This is happening with Nurse Joy regardless.
That's fair.
I'm not, foreshadowing. This is just what I would be saying had I not read this before.
Okay,
but
and again, at this point, not phased.
That's fine.
Totally not phased over here.
You're not even at the worst part.
All right, well, then let's get to it.
Not even at the worst part. Quote, Her skirt teased her thick ass. Her thigh highs squeezed her legs delightfully. She was a delicious woman, and David would have no problem finding out just how delicious she was. He slid up next to her. "How does it look, nurse?" he asked, putting a hand on her shoulder. "Not very good, I'm afraid. The rejuvenation chamber won't be enough for..." "No, not the Pokemon. Your cunt."
Whoa! We went from, what was that? Mangled's Mystery, which is nice, just for boom.
Mangled's Secret.
Mangled's Secret. Boom. All right. I'm drawn in.
If this was Australia, that word wouldn't be bad.
Right.
Yeah. She at first refused his advances, but eventually she submits to the idea.
Nurse Joy?
Yeah.
At her place of business?
Yes, because it's explained that she is constantly lonely. She's always helping people, but she never gets any help in here.
That's true. They're always there. Whenever you go into the game, they're never closed.
Never.
Always there.
Yeah, so she works all the time. She does not have time for romance. And here is this good-looking, I don't know, somewhat young if you're a Pokemon trainer.
Right. This guy is almost a sexual Mary Sue. Because we don't know anything about him outside of
but
his...
he's perfect. He knows where to stick it all the time. So
he knows where he thinks he should.
Yes. Yeah,
He should
so
definitely not be doing anything.
at first she doesn't want to do it, then she does it. Because she's always thinking about sex.
Gotcha.
He undresses her. He does not undress himself, though. And he begins fondling her nipples. And then eventually he goes down on her. Now, this is interesting because, quote, "He gently tugged on the string sticking out, drawing a blood-soaked tampon out. It fell to the floor, and thick chunks began to seep out." Now, he used out a lot there. I'm going to dock him some points on that one. He could have been better with his word choice. But it does say in the fic that she is, quote, "on the rag." Which is just...
so crass.
Yeah. Man. So we have a Mangled Secret and On the Rag. Nurse Joy's Mangled Secret is On the Rag.
Different people. This was written...
It's like Shakespeare. It's like who really wrote Shakespeare.
Exactly.
Different people.
Part of it was some duke, and then the other part was a construction worker.
Yes.
On the rag.
On the rag. So...
and again, not shocked, just disappointed.
That's fine.
Just a little disappointed.
So I'll let you guess what's going to happen next. What would be his next course of action, do you believe?
So he's they're engaged at this point?
He was eating her out.
Okay.
What's next?
There's no cleanup. There's no cleanup in this.
Well, they're not done.
They're not done.
No.
I mean,
what's the next point of the sexual escapade?
Let's say he goes in. He slides in. Oh.
He fists. One fist.
That's a twist.
One fist. Yeah. Obviously, he goes through the fingers.
One fist. Actually, that is a story set in the One Piece universe that I've read.
I don't want to hear it. Is it like
Next
One
episode.
Punch Man? Is that like One Punch Man?
Oh, that'd be a nice crossover,
It's
wouldn't
just
it?
one fist and she's just there.
Oh, that'd be really good.
Pretty cool. Someone write that fic. Someone write that one too.
If I don't get to it first.
Yeah. You might get to it.
I'll have time.
Yeah. So he starts to fist her. And obviously he slides a few fingers in first, but eventually he gets to a fist.
And no digits have been used at this point. It's all fingers, phalanges.
I do not believe digit has been used yet.
Okay.
But digit does get used in this story.
Oh, man. I was looking forward to being surprised.
No,
but
I'm
I was
sorry,
not.
I'm sorry,
I
no.
expected it.
So he begins to fist her, and she screams out in pleasure from the fist, "Fuck me harder, you piece of shit." Now, there's a problem here. David doesn't like that wording. So what does he do?
What does he do?
Punches her in the gut.
This guy's just throwing haymakers.
He's throwing haymakers, yeah. Yeah. Now, the crazy thing is, he decides, well, you can't use that language to me. I'm going to both punish and reward you. Double fist. He double fists her at this point. It is described as tendons popping. Her tendons start to pop.
Maybe his tendons, like in his arms,
Maybe
he's flexing.
Could be his. Well, no, because he uses his hands later. So, but she starts to scream. She starts to bleed, but it's screaming with pleasure. At one point, she even starts to bleed from her throat because she's screaming with so much pleasure and so loudly.
Is that possible?
I don't know.
Is that possible?
I really don't know.
Is any of this possible?
Well, I mean, if you go deep enough on the web, you can see double fisting. So it's possible.
Okay.
Having sex with Gardevoir, I don't think is.
No, obviously not.
No, but... Okay. Quote, "There was a knock at the door, followed by the turning of a handle. In strode the doctor the nurse had called for earlier. Her father. He stopped, shocked at the situation that unfolded in front of him. What are you doing to my little girl?" he murmured. Now, right there, my first reaction was, "You just got cucked, son!" Like, there's some weird, like daddy-daughter cucking fantasy.
Yeah.
Right there.
Just a little bit for everybody.
Yeah.
For the 9-year-olds, for everybody.
Yeah. Quote, David, "Shut the fuck up, you old bastard, and get the fuck over here. Her mouth isn't going to fuck itself." Dad's not cucked anymore. Dad's been invited in.
He's in.
Now, I know what you might be thinking.
He looks like Professor Oak. That's what I've been thinking
I was
this
going
whole
to say,
time.
does Nurse Joy consent?
Okay.
Quote, "Fuck me, Daddy," she said, grinning a bloody smile. Her pleading eyes met his, and before she knew it, her father's wrinkly, liver-spotted dick was in her mouth. He bucked wildly, shakily. He had not had sex since his wife had died 10 years ago.
That's another old men,
old men
have
having
wives
sex.
who have passed.
Yeah.
So they have had this large period of celibacy.
Yeah.
That might be number 21.
Yeah.
That is.
We'll think about it.
That's a definitely one.
Let's do
I've
it.
heard before.
And sometimes had dreams about his daughter.
Oh,
You know?
that's gross.
Sometimes he'd accidentally walk in on her dressing or showering and would think about it later that night as he choked himself and petted his shriveling member.
Member. That's a
Mm-hmm.
good one. That's a solid. That should come back a lot more.
Yeah.
In a big way.
So at this point, I know you're thinking, there's no way we're getting too far with this. Like, this is just a pretty regular encounter.
This is the Aristocrats. You know that joke?
Yes, I do, actually. That's a good joke.
It's the story, essentially. Yeah.
David is bored with the megafisting at this point. He's bored with the megafisting, the daddy-daughter, whatever that's going on. They're working out some familial issues.
If you're not moving up, you're not evolving.
Exactly.
You're not doing anything.
Got to evolve in the Poke universe. So he's bored with the megafisting, the cucking, the incest, the bestiality, and he decides to just get as satanic as possible. Quote, he drew one hand out of her...
Wait, before you do this, I want to just reestablish
where we are.
where we are.
Done. Yeah.
We're just in...
The Poke Center.
Where? Like the lobby?
Yeah, I think we're in the back.
In the back.
Because they had the chambers they put the Pokemon in.
Okay.
So they're right outside the chamber.
Right outside.
Gardevoir is witnessing this. I think that's what's going on.
Are we talking like those chambers like from Star Wars where they're floating in water? Because in Pokemon, they're in just like little beds with metal or like plastic covers. Yeah. Okay.
Glass covers, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's in the Pokemon.
Well, you know, the recession hit the Poke universe hard. They had to go plastic.
Okay, it's plastic. That's fine. That's fair. So yes, that's where we are. Any other?
No, I just wanted to. Okay, so we're in a public space more or less.
Yeah.
Okay. In the back room though.
Yeah, in the back room.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sure people could hear if she's screaming so hard she's bleeding out of her throat. But quote: he drew one hand out of her weeping puss, much to her protest. So that's everything's good. Even when she's getting mega fisted and she's bleeding everywhere and tendons are popping, she likes it. You know, you'd think if she hadn't had sex for a while, the mega fist would just be a little too much. But who knows what she does at home?
If you're gonna go
That's
big,
unfair for me to say
if you're gonna go, you might as well go big.
Quote: with the other, he gripped her cervix and twisted.
What? And twisted?
And twisted.
And twisted?
Pain cut her, and she clenched her teeth and moaned.
And moaned?
Cleanly chopping her father's dick off as he came.
No, I forgot.
As he came.
That's why I wanted to set the stage again so I wouldn't
As
lose
he came.
the economy of where the characters were.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So David pulled her cervix. She
twisted.
Yeah, her cervix.
Twisted it.
She bit down, cut off her father's penis mid-ejaculation.
Okay.
Probably the last one he's ever going to have.
It's safe to assume.
Yeah. And David's not done.
Again, we have no characterization of David besides
mini Hannibal Lecter, yeah. Okay. Or like the child of Hannibal Lecter and Satan.
Yeah, yeah.
This one's another longer quote.
Or like the kid from Home Alone, just levels
exactly.
Of evil.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Home Alone fan fiction coming soon.
You can just rewrite this, but with the burglars and Kevin.
Yeah.
This one's for you, Macaulay.
That's true. That's the problem I have right now, is outside of Pokevagina, is there's nothing native to the Pokemon universe being used. That's the problem I have now.
Just wait.
And I'll let you get to it.
Just wait.
And I'm gonna let
Quote: He had drawn a knife out of his pocket and driven it into the urethra of his penis.
Who's this again?
David. His cock... Who else would it be?
I don't know.
Dr. Cock doesn't have a penis anymore. Nurse Joy is getting mega-fisted. It's got to be David.
Okay.
It's with his one free hand, though, because he is still on the cervix pretty hard. His cock opened wide, and he screamed, but kept pushing hard down into his ball sack. Blood gushed forward, and he puked, bile adding to the horrendous pain, but he couldn't stop. Slowly, memories of him and Gardevoir flooded back. All the fun they had back home. Memories of his mother and father, how they wanted him to succeed. They wanted him to come home, to spend time with their baby boy. Of his first love. The girl he never got over. Her name was Misty.
Do you know where Misty lives?
She wanted to see him again. She had sent him a letter only a month earlier, saying she wanted to be with him again, that nothing felt the same without him. What was he doing here? He couldn't stop his hands. They moved on their own, twisting out Joy's cervix, bit by bit, and slitting his genitals. At last, the leathery bag was open. They gripped his testicles and pried them out, forcing them into his mouth. So he did eat his own balls.
Yeah, I mean, that's not the main point
No.
of that passage.
No.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
So in mid sadomasochist
What
nightmare,
am I doing?
He's what am I doing?
I'm just having a crisis.
Like, I have parents. I had a girlfriend. She wants to get back together with me.
And like I said,
Yeah,
he's
where
in
does she live?
Cerulean
Does she live in
City.
Cerulean?
She is the
So
gym
he
leader
could've
of
hooked up
Cerulean
with her.
City.
Oh, she is.
That's why he was there.
Wow.
But he was going down this path.
Yeah.
And he
Just
let
couldn't
his
stop
demons
himself. Yeah.
take him on a wild, twisting detour.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Powerful stuff. And his balls are in his mouth.
He did eat his balls. His balls end up in his mouth. And I think Nurse Joy's cervix is pretty cleanly out of her body. at this
A
point.
lot of torsion has been put on that.
All three of them die. So David, Nurse Joy, and Dr. Cock are all dead.
Oh, okay.
Gardevoir does recover,
Okay.
but she is forever scarred from David's attack. And then this is the last few lines of the fic. You ready?
Okay.
Misty shook as she read it. She wept and her mind grew jaded and hateful. Oh, I'm sorry. It was printed in the newspaper what happened.
The whole thing.
The whole thing.
This.
What they could piece together. They printed in the newspaper.
Okay.
So Misty.
In the 9+ edition of the
I believe
newspaper.
so,
Because
yeah.
everyone can read the newspaper.
Yeah. It's
Right.
not in the funny section.
Okay.
No. It's in,
Which
like-
are coincidentally never funny. I
No.
just want to put that out
No.
there. Yeah.
So yeah, Misty picks up the paper.
Okay.
She reads it. Misty shook as she read
Cerulean
it.
Sentinel.
She wept. That's a good name. That's a good name. She wept, and her mind grew jaded and hateful. She was alone in the world now. Nobody she loved. Nothing. Alone. She drew a Pokeball from her belt and opened it.
No.
Staryu appeared next to her.
God, no. Please no.
Staryu, she blushed, and looked at him through teary eyes. Would you do something for me?
No.
Star, he echoed. Her cunt burned. She needed it.
Oh, wait. What?
Yeah,
Is that the end?
that's the end.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's the end.
I thought she was going to make Staryu, like, attack her. Wow.
No, even worse. Yeah, even worse.
Maybe I'm reading this tone 100% wrong. But that's interesting.
That is interesting. She chooses to engage with Staryu at the end.
It's almost like a disease has been passed on.
Yeah,
He released this,
yeah,
and it went up into the air, and then it just... Huh.
yeah. So guess how many tropes we hit of the 20?
It would be a lot more probably entertaining to the listener and insightful for me to, like, you know, go back through and tick them off my fingers. I'm just going to say 7.
9. We hit 9.
Pretty good.
So we hit the first one. No lube needed for sex.
Oh, well, that's...
Her anus burned. He just started, you know, up there with his fist. No lube. 2, no condoms, obviously. Would you even use one on a Pokemon? I'd say for sanitation's sake, of course.
Right.
No.
Well, I mean, obviously, there's a ton of disease.
Well, I don't know.
There was.
There was a ton of... Oh, yeah, because
Remember.
she got infected.
Yeah.
So how infected was he?
I mean, he's
With the
probably...
plant matter?
He's the carrier.
You can
I
put
mean,
your penis in
he's-
plant matter and nothing's going to happen.
Yeah, no.
David's the ultimate Mary Sue at this point.
Yeah.
4, no normal sex.
Yeah, no normal. Nothing was normal.
None of it was.
No normal types, not even a Snorlax.
No. None. Never any bad sex.
Well, Gardevoir didn't really enjoy probably 100% of it, most of it, all of it.
But I was referring more to Nurse Joy.
Why? Because she's a human?
Well, that is speciesist of me, isn't it?
It is.
I'm awful. It's 2019.
So we're moving down to 8. We're getting closer to 7. Magic number, baby.
Gushing vaginas.
That was definitely in there.
Yeah, you couldn't refute that one.
Nope.
Multiple ways of referring to a penis.
Oh, yeah.
And I wrote down the interesting ones. Rock hard cock.
Standard.
Shitty dick.
A classic.
Penis.
You know, the original.
His piece.
Ooh, cool.
Yeah. Liver spotted dick.
Descriptive.
At one point, it's referred to as the helmet. So I guess just the head.
Yeah, sure.
The next one is his head. And finally, shriveling member.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite of those.
Yeah, mine. Well, I like liver spotted dick.
I think shriveling member and even liver spotted. I think those help.
I'm actually
to characterize.
Now that we're talking about it, I'm certain liver spotted dick is a food in England.
That's spotted dick. You're thinking
Spotted
of.
dick.
Spotted dick.
Not liver spotted.
Not
dick.
liver
Who's wrong?
spotted dick. Yeah.
Spotted dick.
If you order spotted dick in England, good to go. Have a great time. If you order liver spotted dick in England,
no,
probably
don't even think about it.
Yeah.
Fingers called digits. I didn't get that quote, but he does call the fingers digits.
Okay, I trust you on that.
No refractory period for men. He used that Gardevoir pretty quick.
He did.
Yeah,
he did.
And a lot of moaning.
There was moaning. There was screaming. Yeah. Then there was moaning. Kind of in the second act.
Yeah, I was gonna say no cleanup necessary, but he lopped it up.
He did.
So it was. Well, is that necessary or is that preferred?
Well, I feel like this David guy is psycho enough that it is necessary. I mean,
I guess so. Yeah, he doesn't want anyone to.
Everything was premeditated.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I don't want to be all critical. I don't want to be all negative. So I do want to point out some positives. That's something I kind of want to make, standard.
There's good luck. There's a lot in there. There's a lot in there
there's a lot
to choose
from.
from.
Yeah. So first one, I would say that his writing was pretty reminiscent of H.P. Lovecraft. Honestly, with his excessive use of adjectives.
Okay.
That's something HP does. If there's a noun, there's going to be an adjective there.
That's true. A descriptor of some sort.
Okay. Yeah. Overly descriptive.
Overly descriptive. Almost like someone who just discovered adjectives.
Yes. Yes. Who just learned how to use them.
Right.
Yeah.
Adjectives for like a third grader or like a swear word for a fifth grader. Where you just want to pepper it in.
Yeah.
And you think it just enhances everything. Yeah. Sentence enhancers. Absolutely.
Yeah. I had like a puzzle thing that I did with those in elementary school.
Just noun. And then pop whatever adjective you want on.
Oh yeah. The yellow rhino.
Mad libs. They're mad libs essentially. Okay.
Next, I thought he had a nice vocabulary. Yeah, he used some pretty good words there. Some SAT level words.
You're speaking from someone who's gone through a lot of other fan fictions.
I would say so.
Right. Yeah. Comparatively, you've seen a lot. So
yeah. I thought that was a good vocab there.
Sure.
Not obviously liver spotted dick, but
nothing you'd say to your grandma.
No.
But
yeah, there was some good.
It was well thought. It was thought out.
He at least had a thesaurus near him, and he knew when to use it. It wasn't like one of those people that just learned how to use big words and they just try to put them in.
Exactly. Okay.
Smart.
That's fair.
That's
fair.
At one point when he's describing David raping Gardevoir, he says, "Wasp waist." He slides his hands down her wasp waist. And I thought that was really descriptive. Like, really good use of imagery.
Wasp waist.
Yeah, because you know how wasps, they have, like, the big thorax?
Yeah.
Or the big abdomen. And the thorax. And how there's, like, that little joint.
Okay.
It really made me
36, 24, 36 brick house kind of deal. That's the song. That's the like, more lowbrow way to say wasp waist.
Okay, if you say so.
Right.
If you say so. So yeah, that's what I thought that was very strong.
Okay.
I like the way how he ended up connecting it to overall Pokemon. You know,
What do you mean?
with Misty.
Okay, yeah.
Like, it felt a little shoehorned in at the end, but I don't know. It just seemed. I like how, you know, he still connected it back to the bigger universe. I think it would have been a better use if he, while raping Gardevoir, thought about all the times he had consensual and regular sex with Misty.
Maybe he was thinking at that
He
time.
could have been, yeah. But then that would have been so weird how at the end she's like, "Star, you stick it in me." You know what I mean?
I can't. You can go. Continue.
Yeah. Final one. This is a little. I might be reading too much into it here.
I'm ready for this.
So, you know, they say the highest form of art offends. It's not good art unless it's offensive art. Right? Have you ever heard that?
I have.
Okay. So, I think this was kind of offensive. It was some art that was offensive.
Okay.
So, my idea, you ask who's the audience, why would he write this? The only idea I have that makes sense, besides David's just a messed up guy, is this is like a criticism of modern day sexualization of nostalgia and the media's obsession with trying to paint video games as these super aggressive and violent things.
Okay.
So he's tackling two pretty big issues here at once. But the biggest thing is, I think, the violence. So he's like, oh, this is more like a satirical piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's saying
How
something.
gratuitous can a child's
Yeah,
game
can
of
Pokemon
rock,
be? It's
paper,
like,
scissors
oh,
be?
you think Call of Duty's bad? Wait until I stab my urethra. Yeah.
And at what point does, say high art offends? At what point does it just slip into gratuitous vulgarity?
Well, talk to, what's his name? The director.
I don't have his address.
Pulp Fiction.
Oh, Tarantino.
Talk to Tarantino. Is he art? Is he offensive? A lot of people say he's offensive.
A lot of pearl clutchers say he's offensive. I mean, there's a difference between Django shooting someone, you get a spout of blood, and power fisting.
That's a good point. Good point.
While I was saying it, I was thinking, is there? So it's not a good point.
There you go. You're if anything, you're conditioned to see shooting. You're not conditioned to see power fisting.
It's true.
How many times have you seen people get shot in your life? Whether in video games, TVs, movie...
Never in real life. Just want to be clear about that.
Okay.
Never in real life.
Okay, but how many in fake life? A lot. Right?
Yeah, sure.
Lot. How many power fists have you seen?
A lot? I mean, none.
None except for Thanos'.
Boom.
Yeah.
Power snap.
Yeah.
Let's just record show Alex just disappeared into a cloud of dust. So I'm gonna wrap this. Oh, there he is. Okay.
But yeah, so that was my positive. My positive was I'd like to think that he's just trying to make a satirical piece, critical of something.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you're being very generous.
That could be true as well. Next, I have some criticisms.
Okay. Yeah, you could tighten it up.
Yeah,
it could be shorter.
Yeah. Punctuation could be better. For sure. He could have worked on his punctuation.
Okay.
If he ever writes another one, I think he should work on his punctuation.
Like to see more from that.
Yeah. At one point, he refers to Gardevoir as a young Pokemon. So he kind of acknowledges that not only is it rape, bestiality, it's a little pedophilic. Mm-hmm. Yeah, a little pedophilic.
And that's a criticism. You would like to see that nixed from the
I
next
would like
installment?
to see that nixed, yeah. Mm-hmm. That's the one issue I had with
because it offends you? Because it's too high art for you?
No, because I think it makes you overthink when you're sitting there like, okay, well, what's the life expectancy of a Gardevoir? You know what I mean? Pokemon have life expectancies.
Yeah, it's as long as the battery in the game cartridge lasts.
No, my friend.
My Pikachu's still alive. He's in there.
Well, how long have you had your Pikachu?
Maybe 15 years. Holy
cow!
Wow.
I think it would be 20. You got about 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm just saying. Then you start thinking like, well, how long do Gardevoirs live? What would make her young? To a dog, 3's not that young. to a human. That's pretty young.
In Pokemon years, okay.
Yeah, yeah. Poke years.
Poke years.
Multiplied by 5.
Poke years, yeah. Poke years. Poke years.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're better than that.
Yeah.
We're better than that.
Okay. At one point, David initially recognizes that it's weird, and he just beats through it.
He does.
He
Yeah,
does.
that's
And so
never addressed again
No.
until the very end.
Until the end.
Which
Which he's like, what am I doing here?
That's where you want to explore. If this was intended to be art, I feel like you'd be exploring that a little
Mind
more.
of the weirdo.
Right.
The
Maybe
mind
not
of the
outright through your
deviant.
language,
No.
but in your choice of words, in your choice of actions.
Or he lashes her. He's reeled at his actions. How could I do this? Why did I do this?
yes.
What does it mean? Punches her again. He liked it.
I'd like to see that
Yeah,
slip,
yeah.
the scent, that slip a
So
little more.
I think he could have done that. But there's a very weird power dynamic. I've criticized
Really?
that. Well, with the Guard of War.
What?
Yeah. Well, I know that one's for the scholars.
Yeah, okay.
But she recognizes he's the trainer, and it's just, I don't know. He spent a lot of time on it. I think that's the best way I can put it. Like, I know you didn't read the full thing, but he spends a lot of time on that.
On that master Pokemon dynamic.
Yeah, and it's just
Doesn't go anywhere?
no. It's just like,
I mean, the final act really kind of excludes Guard of War completely.
I like to think of it as a duology. He rapes Guard of War, end of story. He has some weird incestual, cucked up 3-way where everyone dies at the end. Second story.
Two quick vignettes.
Yeah.
Okay.
David's a weird dude. Who knows what he did in the middle? Someone could write a fanfic of what David did in the weeks in between.
Yeah, bring him home. Bring him home. Yeah, bring him home.
Expand this universe.
Bring Odysseus home.
Yeah. I think I would have liked to have seen him explore why the violence. He talked about his mom, his dad.
Right.
Did his uncle, expose him to things at a young age?
Sure.
Did perhaps a two-handsy of a pokey priest? I don't know.
That's true. I really think they could have. He, she, whoever wrote this could have focused on that a little more.
Bit instead of just being gratuitous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what I want to see out of it. Maybe I'm just trying to get what I want out of it, which is literally anything but what it has done, which has made me rethink my childhood.
Yeah, and then the final one I wrote was, this dude came 3 times in a row. Wow.
Back to back to back.
back to back. Yeah.
Boom. Yeah.
So
That's a three-peat.
that was a three-peat. That was a
Michael
Chicago
Jordan,
Bulls
yeah.
three-peat. Anything you'd like to say? Criticisms, things done well, perhaps?
Again, I like this idea of like a red mist that descends upon him, and then in his waning moments it lifts.
Yeah.
Maybe we go like a supernatural route with that next time. I'm not
Ghastly. Ghastly could have possessed him.
I like that. that. That's a good angle. But again, I didn't write this. I didn't ask for this to be written. It's not
halfway through knife down your penis. Ghastly lifts. And you're like, what am I doing?
Peace
and you're
out.
like, well, I've started. Just eat my balls. So it's like, I'm here. Just eat my balls.
Exactly. If you're gonna go big,
Yeah.
you gotta go big.
You gotta go home. Yeah,
You
you're
gotta
already in
go
the middle
big.
of it. And if he's possessed, is he aware of everything he's doing? He just can't control
That's
it?
interesting. That's all interesting stuff that you could set up in your universe.
Yeah. Whoever writes that fic, please.
So what I would say is that it's almost irresponsible to write something so kind of like this is gross, and then put something at the end to tease.
That's what I'm saying.
And I think that you find that a lot in some fan fictions
Yeah.
is there's all of this kind of just a lot to sift through, and then there's a little nugget,
Yeah.
and it's like, wow, that would have been difficult to expand upon, but it would have been worthwhile.
I think we're here to find the nuggets.
We're here for the nuggets.
I think we're here for the nuggets.
Okay.
I want a 10-piece. No, I want a 12-piece nugget.
Nice.
With
Yeah.
Polynesian sauce all over it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you can
I'm looking
definitely
for that
find
fic. I'm looking for that fic.
A McDonald's fanfic.
Okay. Yeah. The Chick-fil-A hooks up with Ronald. Speaking of which, did you ever watch those VHS Ronald McDonald movies? They were good.
No, I don't think
They were
I actually...
animated. They were good.
Oh man, I bet there's a ton of fan fiction about those.
There has to be.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I've got some questions.
Okay, let's burn them up.
Is Gardevoir the Pokemon you would choose to have sex with? Before you answer, she's 5'3", weighs 106 pounds. It's a normal BMI.
Enjoys, what is she? What are her likes and dislikes?
I don't know what the likes
Literature?
are, but I'm just saying, physically speaking.
I mean, yeah, I would want to get to know her a little more.
yeah.
But if we're going just, My answer is no,
Yeah.
but
I'm saying if you had to choose.
if I had to choose
is she
one,
the one you...
Ditto.
Ditto?
Ditto's the
she
one
could
I
be
choose.
anything.
Ditto's the one I choose.
Oh my god.
Ditto's the one I choose.
Ditto's the one. Because I wrote down Horsey. Horsey?
Horsey? You would choose Horsey?
Well, that's just a suggestion. It's got the big mouth. We know it can suck. It can blow.
I mean, if you're going just from like utility stance, yeah.
Yeah, Horsey's or Jinx. She looks like Nicki Minaj and she's thick.
Okay, well, you've got really good ideas. I think me saying Ditto just speaks to my problem with commitment.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got you. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. This is before I read anything about Nurse Joy, but I wrote, think about all the hot anime babes Brock hit on. Why is he doing this with a Pokemon?
Oh, so you're saying in this universe, there's Officer Jenny,
Yeah.
there's Nurse Joy, there's others.
Yeah.
Misty is around.
Misty, of
he was
course.
engaged with
Or
Misty at some
what's
point.
Team Rocket chick? She's
Jessie.
Jessie. Yeah.
Where is she? Where is she in all this?
That's what I'm saying. Is she in Meowth in the back doing something?
Oh
I don't know.
God, I can only hope not.
I can only imagine in my nightmares. So he talked about the anus, correct? Mm-hmm. Do Pokemon have butts?
Well, he also said, well, I've got a problem with that. He did say he was unfamiliar with the Pokemon anatomy.
Yeah.
But he managed.
He managed 3 holes.
He found them all.
He
collected them all.
And so,
gotta catch them all.
For a lot of animals, the butt and the vagina is the same thing.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're not disconnected. So my thing is like, so Gardevoir has both. Fine, I'll accept that.
Okay.
But I've never seen Pokey poop, Pokey scat. I've never seen.
Yeah,
that.
I mean,
so do they have butts? Do they poop?
That's excluded, and I think that goes back to that idea that when you're watching a movie or a TV show or you're playing a game, you're looking for the highlights. No one's highlight of their life is dropping a deuce.
But they eat. We know they have the Poke Cubes, the berries.
Yep, the berries.
Pokeblocks, I'm sorry. So they get 100% efficiency animals.
Yeah, Carno cycle. Yeah, I like to think so.
Okay.
In my world.
And the other question is, do Pokemon have sex organs? He found a vagina.
Is
Pikachu walking around slopping his dong on you?
Maybe they're retractable.
Retractable.
Yeah, I like to think they're retractable.
So is it like dogs? Can you get them spayed or neutered?
Well, you see, in the canon of a show like this or a universe like this, you're gonna run into those problems where. Okay, fine. They're little cute monsters. How do they grow up? Oh, they evolve. That's perfect. But when you introduce the mechanic of they breed and they have eggs, that's when you start opening yourself up. You know what I'm saying? You got to protect all. You got to
Exactly.
and then that's where fan fiction comes in. You fill in some of those gaps because it's never explained. So as far as I'm concerned, that's fair game.
Yeah, especially because if you think about it, then we're getting to like Poke pedigree. Pokegree?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
there's
So then there are some animals that you never caught in the wild.
In that society,
Are there Poke breeders?
In that society, so when you say that, well, that's what Brock wants to be.
There are Poke zoos.
There are. Yes, absolutely. There are. You're right.
Yeah.
Right outside the safari zone. In the story, Brock wants to be a breeder. That's what he wants to be. He wants to take them on, Thanksgiving Day, jaunt them around the old, Madison Square Garden or wherever that is, and get a little ribbon. So that does exist.
Interesting.
That does exist in the universe.
Because then you're talking about there's a Genghis Khan.
Genghis Khan, yeah.
In a zoo. I remember.
Genghis Khan, not Genghis Khan.
Yeah.
Different guy.
Yeah, John Wayne. But there's one in a zoo, right? Mm-hmm. They're just running out wild.
Why is that one in the zoo?
Can I ever put that one back in the wild?
Well, it's like, why is Goofy given clothes and regarded as a person and Pluto is a dog? I mean,
because Walt Disney was an anti-Semite.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll accept that. We'll just poke holes in this mythos all day. Yeah, we could do that.
Another question. Is no one else walking into the Cerulean City Poke Center?
That was why
That's a good,
I was all over that. All over that.
How is this explained by the police?
Well, they write it down word for word.
Yeah,
I think, it'd be nice if we were reading...
I bet he had a manuscript. Or like a journal.
A manifesto.
Yeah, a manifesto. He knew what he was going to do.
Like I said, I think it's all premeditated.
Yeah.
This guy left a paper trail a mile wide.
Oh my God. Wow. Whew. Yeah, so those are my questions. Do you have any questions? Any little nuggets to chew on?
I'm only here for answers.
I'm
the answers guy.
You're the pokey expert.
Exactly.
Yeah. So besides that, just closing remarks. Anything else you want to say about this fic? I've pretty much said all I can.
You have said all you can. Closing remarks again. Like I said, takes a lot to shock me. Not shocked. Disappointed. You know, I've gone through this. I've gone down this road. Yeah. Not with Pokemon, my own personal favorite. So it is a little disappointing. But I came in with eyes wide open. You know, I knew kind of what to expect.
Pokephilia. It's called pokephilia.
Pokephilia.
Yeah.
Feel you.
He did feel Gardevoir.
He did. Did he though? Did he? He used her as such an object, and that's the problem I have with that is that it is like it's just. I know but it's a story, right? And you could say that it was written in a dark corner of the internet, and that's where it's going to stay to shock. But still, that's troubling to me.
See, I'm under the philosophy: if you're going to do something, do it right. Do it to the best of your ability. If you're putting this out there, why haven't you thought about everything, David?
That's fair. That's fair, but you got to know who's going to read this.
That's a good point.
Who's going to read it? Who's going to think it's okay?
Some idiots.
If you're under 9, you're going to be totally carried away by it and you might be scarred forever.
Yeah.
But as long as you're over that.
Especially with Nurse Joy being on the rag.
On the rag.
On the rag.
I did like that. That was funny.
No,
that was funny, crass, regressive, but I like that was good.
But the mangled secret on the rag.
Yeah, it's good. It's a that encapsulates fan fiction perfectly. Yeah. It's you at once you're like, I'm glad someone's out here. They're stretching their creativity. On the other hand, I wish they had stayed home.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I guess that ends it. That's the first episode done.
Yeah. I'm very excited.
Yeah, I'm
excited.
Had fun. I hope everyone listening had fun. Thanks for joining us. If you're not already following us on our YouTube channel, please do. Suck My Fanfic Podcast. If you're not already following us on our SoundCloud, please do. Suck My Fanfic Podcast.
It sounds like you're inviting them to suck your fanfic.
Well, someone's got to do it.
Someone has to.
You've got a big juicy fic. Someone's got to suck on it. Someone's got to suck on that nugget.
Break it down. Break all the sugars apart.
Yeah.
Get to the nuggets.
Get to the meat. Get the balls in your mouth.
Get them in there.
Yeah. We have a Tumblr, Suck My Fanfic Podcast, and a Twitter. That too. So
at Suck My Fanfic. I assume.
Suck My Fanfic.
Correct.
Absolutely.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Do you want to give a challenge for next week if anybody actually wants to write it?
Give a challenge? The Qui-Gon Jinn gauntlet has been thrown. That's out there for anybody who wants to take it on. Like I said, it takes a lot to shock me.
Yeah.
I don't want you to necessarily shock me with sex. I want you to shock me with something I haven't read before. Whether it's jarring graphically or whether it's intriguing.
Okay.
That's what I want. It takes a lot to.
Yeah. So no requests on characters, no fandoms, nothing. You just want to be shocked.
Real Monsters, the '90s cartoon.
Okay.
You got any of those characters?
Kids remember.
Only '90s kids.
Only '90s kids remembers. Okay. So there we go. Something that will shock Ryan. Real Monsters. That's a lot there you could use.
There's a lot there.
Yeah.
I made it easy almost.
Yeah.
I'm expecting a lot.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks again for listening, follow us on all our stuff, and have a wonderful night. And always remember to eat your balls.
Eat those balls. Good night, everybody.